5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 3 of Revisited with Science Stew. Joining me, as always, is Stuart.
Hello, guys. Nice to be back with you. Yes, we are watching, or should I say, we are reviewing a terrible, terrible
Well,
episode.
yeah, I mean, if you didn't get it from the sort of intro tune and the teaser last week, folks, this week I have picked the delightful Oh, Dr. Beeching. For just a little background for everybody, it first aired the episode we're reviewing, sorry, is Series 1, Episode 3. And this first aired on the 15th of July, 1996. Stuart, do you remember this at all?
I never watched it. Never watched it. I'll be honest. Wasn't until you mentioned it. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
pretty much the
um,
same. I knew of it. I knew of obviously Heidi High because it uses the same characters. There's one in between which is called You Rang My Lord, which is slightly different. It's more like a drama comedy.
yeah. I
Along the set.
mean, sort of completely different. You
Yeah,
rang my lord,
very different.
to
And
Dr. Beechin. Yeah,
and then we
completely
get
different.
this. And this, I mean, like I said, this is mid-90s.
Yeah.
And by the time this aired, we got so many more alternatives, and this just seemed to take us back decades. I'll give everybody a little synopsis of the episode that we're watching. So, in this episode, the station manager, Parkin, decides that Hatley should become a more sophisticated station and requests its speaker system be re-established despite Jack not believing it may work. After he proves ineffective for making announcements with it, Parkin asks Ethel to handle it. While she proves reliable, the system becomes a handful when Jack reveals the speakers weren't working, to which trying to rectify it just makes things worse. And that, folks, is about as good as this is going to get. Number of problems straight off the bat with this, Stuart, is that, or I shall just say, is that it's the same cast, core cast, as Heidi High.
It
Jeffrey
is, yeah,
Holland, Paul
yeah,
Shane, Sue
yeah.
Pollard, and some others from the ensemble. But it is not a Croft and Perry outing. This, I think, it's David Croft,
It is. It's
and
somebody else. I
I
can't
think
remember.
it's Richard Spenlove.
Uh-huh.
And
And
they've kind of taken the establishment that they know and borrowed some characters. So, the guy who from You Rang My Lord, Perry Benson, appears in it. Another one from You Rang My Lord, the train driver Arthur. And then for some utterly unknown, bizarre reason, we get Stephen Lewis, who is Blakey from On the Buses,
correct, yeah.
thrown into the
Uh,
mix.
yeah. I mean, I said to you that you've got Sue Pollard that's just literally playing Peggy in this series. You've got Paul Shane that's more or less playing a version of sort of Ted from ID High. The only person I can see that's playing a completely different character is Jeffrey Holland. That's playing the station master. He's playing a completely different character.
Yeah.
Quite stern is the boss this time, and it's kind of very much of you do it his way.
So, where do you want to start with this, Stuart? That's the big question.
To be quite honest, I'd start by throwing it right in the bin. It made absolutely no sense to me at all. I mean, you read out the synopsis there of what this episode was about. I waited 20 minutes before anything was ever mentioned about a PA system.
Yep. Yep.
It absolutely took forever, to the point of where I actually thought I was watching the wrong episode.
I've got to say, we spoke offline before we started doing the podcast briefly, and I said to you, I can't believe when this was made, 1996, mid-90s. So in the
Yeah.
in the era of dance music, in the era of Britpop, in the era of everything, New Labour coming into power or on the scene for coming into power, all that going on, we got sitcoms like Blackadder had finished years before, but we got sitcoms like Bottom, we've got sitcoms like Red Dwarf, almost like the new culture, the modern,
Yeah.
at the time,
Mhm.
sitcoms, the big hits, and then we dirged for some reason, this gets commissioned,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's 20 years too late to start with,
Yeah.
and you've got a cast, and I'm not for a second saying there isn't an audience out there for an old school kind of sitcom, but I mean, it's bloody dreadful. It
Yeah,
really, really
from
is awful.
from the theme tune to the
Oh,
opening,
I quite like the theme tune.
oh, no, no, it was terrible, it was dreadful. It threw out just sort of too much cheese,
Yeah, yeah.
all from the beginning.
The
No, raw, dreadful.
You said it with Heidi High, and I'll reiterate it here. This is like watching a pantomime. It's
Yes, it was, yeah,
completely
very much, yeah.
over the top, very we'll get into it and we'll run through the plot, but every character is overacting to the nth degree, and they've all got lines that are supposed to be it's a bit like watching an episode of Last of Summer Wine. You say the same thing every week and it's going to get a laugh, so we'll say it again this week, and, "Oh, this is bad, Stuart, this is bad." Um,
Blakey, I still can't get that Blakey's in it. Again, on the buses, it's playing the same character, Stephen Lewis. I
yeah,
don't get it. Yeah,
no, no.
it was funny
I
at the
mean,
time. It's not now. It wasn't
I
then.
didn't deliberately, I didn't choose the first episode because obviously that would explain sort of who the characters are for anybody who's not watched it and give you the setup for the whole series. I chose this just because it was just a random middle one where by now they should have had the formula, the interaction of the characters, everything sort of in place so that we could see it. But did you, having just watched this one episode, understand anything about the characters?
I understood what was happening in that episode.
Yeah,
That's all.
right. Yeah,
I mean, like I said before, I've never watched it. This is the first time I've watched an episode, but I
yeah.
didn't kind of learn anything from it or anything
No,
like that.
I'm not surprised. I mean, we start the episode and it's a common, it's the same way they start every episode. They're in the cottages next door to the train station where they all live. And we get Paul Shane's character coming out and talking to Sue Pollard is in the window. And this happens, Stuart, at the start of every episode. I haven't watched them all, but I can assure you the ones I have, it's always the same. And it's always like a shouting out of the window, something happening behind you can't see, but it's just not funny. It's terrible.
No, it's
But
not.
we get the setup. We find out that a son who we can't see is off screen is playing a guitar loudly. Then we get Blakey arriving, who's supposed to be, I think he's the signal box man or something, isn't he? He's the
That's right.
chap who,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's moaning a la Blakey from on the buses. The station master arrives. They're all moaning they're going to be late. And the big line, the funny line at the end of it, Stephen Lewis, when he says, "You'll be late, Mr. Skinner," or whatever his name is, "Not if I run." And it just ends.
Well,
And I,
he runs about 2 foot
oh,
because his station thing's right next door to where he lives.
I mean, it's that if it, that's that kind of set the scene. The first real scene, if you like, of the sitcom, they're in the canteen. We meet May and her daughter. Cecil, the station master, Mr. Parkin, comes in, and it's obvious, even if you haven't seen the rest of it, that there's a history between Jeffrey Holland's character and the lady behind the canteen, so May and Cecil, and they have a little bit of a flirt, Stuart. And I mean, I quite like Jeffrey Holland. I don't have a problem with Jeffrey Holland in this. I think he plays the character very well.
No, I think he's probably the only one that
Yeah,
kind of sort of made sense in the episode. Yeah.
yeah. Now Julie Deakin plays May Skinner, and God, I wanted to sort of like the characters, so I might invest a little bit in it. But her portrayal of this character is awful. It's the it is a you're like watching a pantomime dame just camp it up, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand why she acted the way she did, why she said the things she did, and I'm not knocking the actress, I'm quite sure it's scripted and she's been asked to do that, but my goodness me, it's bad I mean, I was cringing and we're only in really scene 1.
Yeah.
It's just horrible, horrible sort of bits and pieces. We then find also, there's a lady who does the cleaning and the washing of the station. It's Barbara New, the actress. And she's also from You Rang My Lord. She plays Vera Plumtree, and she's got like this. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like an Edith from Last of the Summer Wine, where she puts on a posh accent, or she just generally has a posh accent. But the character just seems out of fitting.
Yeah, I kind of got Mrs. Doyle vibes from her as well. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
don't know whether just because what she was wearing or how she looked, but I kind of got Mrs. Doyle vibes from her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And like I said, they have this flirt, and then Barbara New's character Vera's talking to May, and May says something like, "Oh, she's right though. He is very gentlemanly." And so Vera says, "Oh, he seems a bit shy to me." And she's, "Oh, not when you get to know him." And then, "Oh, I expect,"
Yeah.
hinting obviously that they have a history to the audience, but
Yeah,
it's
something
just
has
so
happened. Yeah. Yeah,
bloody
yeah, yeah.
badly done, honestly. I mean, right, just to the folks at home, anybody who's listening to this podcast probably likes sitcoms and has probably watched some of the ones we're reviewing. And like us, when we were younger, Stu, sitcoms were great. They were a bit of escapism. There was a lot of them, hence this podcast, some good, some bad. And we watched them. And as somebody who's grown up doing that, I'm sure you and I and the listeners have at some point thought, oh, I could write something like that. I could do that. Now, you yourself, just getting off topic here, I know, and for the fans at home who will now know, is you've written things yourself. You've recently written some fan fiction, a finish to
Yep.
the sci-fi series Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
I've I've wrote a couple of comedy things. The first one was absolutely terrible, but the second one, was sort of taking shape and had something there. How this has got commissioned in 1996 is beyond me.
Yeah.
It would have been poor in 1976.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, as we're going to do the rankings at the end, I can tell you now where this is going to be. Yeah, it's so just badly written, acted. Yeah, there's only one redeeming thing about it, and that the fact is the actual on location sets, the station and everything is beautiful,
That's
beautiful
that's
location.
I've got that written
You,
down under best bits, and I've just put beautiful
yeah,
location, beautiful cottages.
but that's about it. That
Yeah.
is literally about it. Yeah.
I also want to talk about some of the other characters. When in typical, if we look at Croft and Perry and we look at their sort of ensemble pieces, it works because each of the characters has something to bring to that ensemble, even if it's a bit part. So if we take Ain't Our Fault Mum, if we take Are You Being Served, let's just take Are You Being Served for the sake of this. John Humphreys, Molly Sugden as Mrs. Slocum, Miss Brahms, despite having a smaller part, especially in the beginning, still contributed something.
Hmm.
Captain Peacock, Mr. Rumble, everybody else had an interaction or something to bring. Dad's Arm is a great example. Some had smaller parts than others, but you needed them all for it to work. In this, I don't see how any of them gel. I don't see how any of them interact, why they'd put up with each other. So, Paul Shane's character, Jack, and May are married. Did you get that from this episode? Because I don't know if it's ever mentioned, but
No, I didn't. No, I
they
didn't.
just,
It took me a while to work that out. Yeah.
but this is it's as though they've just met on set. I don't know how to describe it.
But it's
There
not
was
only that. I mean,
links as always.
yeah, I mean, once again, you got Jack played by Paul McShane, which I mean, he looks like a 70-year-old man. You've got sort of Sue Pollard playing her character, and I mean, she looks quite young, and she looks quite young in this as well. So you didn't automatically sort of put one with the other. I mean,
Just,
basically,
just,
this series.
just to
Go on,
interrupt
sorry.
you, Sue Pollard and Paul Shane's characters aren't married in this. Paul Shane is married to the lady behind the counter, May.
Oh, have I got that wrong way around?
Yeah. Yeah. You did watch this episode, didn't you? We're not doing this again, are we?
I did, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
I've got
just
that wrong way
checking.
around. Right.
But it's just what I mean. We're introduced. The next scene, Stuart, as we go along, is where May's taken Cecil a cup of tea and an Eccles cake, which everyone seems to make a big thing of, into his office, and they're having a chat. And Sue Pollard's character is listening through the keyhole, trying to sort of find out what's being said and what's going on. And somebody interrupts them, and she claims there's woodworm in the door. I mean, that gets the laugh. Wow. Oh God. And then we get introduced to Sue Pollard's son, who was playing the guitar loudly that we never saw in the first bit, called Wilfred. Do you want to go first with
Sadly,
this?
yes. Well, I mean, he comes in as the, how can I put it without offending people? As not all sandwiches in the same picnic, or however that goes.
It's horrible. I get they're wanting a character who is, I'll say, not as bright as the others, a bit of
Yeah,
comedy.
slow. Yeah,
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 but oh, flipping it, it's painful to watch the. And again, I'm not knocking the actors; they're doing what they're told to do. But y- it's just awful. It's painful. I'll put, as always, folks, a link in the blurb at the bottom of these podcasts. If you don't believe this is as bad as we're telling you, please try and watch the link. It is awful. It's almost like they're waiting for cues. Do you know how Acorn Antiques did that clever thing where you catch Mrs. Overall
yeah,
hanging in the background waiting for a cue? It's almost like that, but not deliberate.
yeah. I think
It's
sadly that the whole series was reliant on Paul McShane, Sue Pollard, Jeffrey Holland, and all based on their Heidi High years. And there was just hoping that that same sort of
magic.
yeah, that same magic were going to happen with this, and sadly, it didn't. Did you say that this was before or after you rang my
This is
lord?
after. This is
This is
after.
after, right?
Yeah.
Because you rang my lord had a lot more success
Yeah,
than.
and it's one of those things that you rang Lord at the time. I watched the odd episode, and it was funny, and it's another one I've gone back and watched, Stuart, and your Wrangler is very well done. It's a very
Yeah.
clever. It's almost like a drama comedy, and it's very cleverly meshed together, and all the characters, and there's a lot of them work together, and it goes along, and okay, it's silly and it's farcical and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but you can see why it gets the plaudits that it does.
But
Um,
this also may be why that this series didn't do as well. I mean, this is the third different series that had the original three central characters of Paul
yeah.
McShane, Sue Pollard, Jeffrey Holland. How many times is this going to go on?
Oh god, and it goes on and on.
Yeah, yeah.
To get the we get introduced to sort of more characters as we're going along the episode, Stuart. Couple that I want to pull out as well as Wilfred. There's a guy who turns up in the station called Percy, who is flirting with Ethel, Sue Pollard's character. He's called Percy. That's all really we find out about him, and he's just a lecherous, horrible,
He
terrible
reminds
man.
me. He
Go on.
reminds me of I can't think of his name. Out of On the Buses,
Oh, Jack or Stan. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Stan. That's it. Yeah, he reminds me of Stan out of On the Buses. Yeah,
It's I mean, again, I know it's supposed to be set in history, as in the 50s and 60s, but it was out of sort of character for then, never mind
yeah, yeah.
1996. It's really horrible to watch. And then we get this, and this is what I mean, but I call it the last of the summer wine thing. There's a bit where they've had them. May's taken the Eccles Cake cup of tea into Cecil Parkin. They're all trying to find out what they're talking about. Nothing really has been spoken about. She comes back to behind the counter. Her then husband comes in, asks for a cup of tea, asks for an Eccles cake, and she's given the
Oh,
last Eccles
there
cake
is one there.
to
Yeah,
Parkin.
it goes on
And
a
then
bit,
they
doesn't it?
keep talking about the
Yeah.
Eccles cake.
Yeah.
I call it last of summer wine fever. It is that you think something's funny, if you keep saying it in a certain way, it'll get a laugh, and it's
Yeah,
not.
did go on a bit, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, again, as of yet, as we've gone through this series, I know we're on episode 3, I've not cringed at much of what I've seen, despite it being a bit rough and ropey. This, off the scale. I mean,
Yeah.
off the scale. As you said, we haven't even got to the plot of the whole thing yet. We then get, oh no, tell a lie, I've missed a little bit, Stuart. We get introduced to the young train driver, who's Perry Benson, and the older train driver who's training him, who's called Arnold. And I got to say, I did really enjoy Arnold's portrayal, and he's telling the tale of his wife who's trapped in the
Oh, of his
toilet.
toilet, yeah.
It was the bit where he said, "Well, the Bolton's stuck because they've got an outdoor loo." So he gave me some beef dripping, which made I don't know why, just made me laugh to try and sort of ease the bolt. And then the wonderful bit where he said, the beef dripping didn't work, so I passed her a hammer through the gap, you see. She tried that, but she's never been good with mechanical things. And it's his delivery of it. The actor who plays Arnold, whose name is Ivor Robert, he's been in You Rang My Lord as well. But his telling the tale, I felt that character worked really well. It's the only thing that did in this entire episode, I will say.
Yeah, well, it was the thing when he was on it, whenever he mentioned the toilet, the outside toilet, you whispered it behind his hands.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like that. Again, back then it was something that you didn't talk about. Nobody knew. Nobody wanted to know that you had an outside toilet.
yeah, but we digress. We then actually get on to Stuart halfway through the episode, as you say, the plot as what it is. And so the new station master decides that they want to use the PA system that they have. But the PA system doesn't work, but they miraculously somehow have a lead. And this is why the young lad was playing the guitar, because the guitar lead, oh my, Wilfred's got a lead that will help the PA system. And Paul Shane tries to do the announcement on the PA system as opposed to calling out on the platform, and gives it the Attlee, Attlee, Attlee. And he just pulls him up and says, no, it's Hatley, Hatley, Hatley. And again, we get a last of the summer wine fever where the same damn joke is repeated 30 times in the space of as many as 5 minutes. And again, I was just dying watching this. It's awful.
Yeah, there's times where you just forget, just move on, just get over it and move on to what's happening. Yeah,
And the thing is,
yeah,
and again, this won't be the only sitcom that we do this with, Stuart, but you got the PA system out. You saw that Paul Shane's character wasn't good on the PA system, so Ethel was going to do it because she had a nicer speaking voice and sounded more professional. Okay? I think that's fair to say. And then the rest of that entire scene, I could have told you exactly what was going to happen, word for word, within about 20 seconds, and it is bloody dreadful to watch.
yeah. I mean, I can understand when you watch programs like this, and any program. I'm not just about comedies. Any type of program, comedy, sci-fi, everything like that. I can understand where there's a point where you sometimes have to know a setup, or what the set, but blind setup, where it's obvious what's coming, when it's
Yeah.
obvious what's going to be said. No, it
And
kind of
did you again notice that even though we know what this joke is going to be, what is going to happen, how it's going to play out, how Sue Pollard's character is going to react, the audience are laughing.
yeah,
What are you laughing at? What
yeah,
you
again,
know you can
hysterically as
see what
well.
we can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, goodness gracious. Uh, and then we get the sort of farce with the PA system, the Hatley, the bit where the lead won't reach, so she's got the lead plugged in, the PA system at one end of the office, but the script she's reading at the other. Can't remember the script, has to run across, can't remember. Oh, goodness gracious. And I'll
And
give
just
Sue
for
Pollard
some
her credit.
reason, I mean, I thought at one minute, why don't you just take the script over to the thing? And then I
Yeah,
realised that they actually got it chained. They got it
yeah,
chained. They got a piece of paper chained to the
yeah.
wall.
That's what I
Yeah,
meant by signposting the gag. We
yeah,
saw the
yeah,
chain very early on. We knew the moment you've plugged the system in the other side of the office, we can see. As I was about to say, I'll give Sue Pollard her full credit. She throws herself into it as she always does, but it's terrible. It is like watching a pantomime on
yeah,
screen. It's
yeah.
shockingly bad. Um, I mean, we're not far from the end of the episode by this bit because the big gag, as these sort of things always end on a oh ha ha ha, is that they find out that a senior station master's come into the station, and so they want to show off the PA system. And so they're all out on the platform, apart from Sue Pollard, who's reading the script that she's now managed to get together and with the PA system and produce. And the whole gag, as the senior station master steps off the train, is that the speaker is a bit squeaky and she sounds like a mouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's it.
am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
He gets off and he can't remember what he says now, but
Oh,
he says,
he says hello, Jack, to Paul Shane. He obviously knows Paul Shane's character of old, and just says hello, Jack.
yeah,
And they roll their eyes at the speaker, so they knew.
yeah, and is he as he walked past Jack, he said, "I thought it was better when you did it," and then walked off, and then that were it.
Yeah, that's the end. That's the
Yeah,
total end
yeah.
of the episode. And I'd like to say, as I said with Duty Free, it gets better, but believe me, folks, it does not get better. It is
Eh, and
this.
I just point in as well that when this finishes, it does the typical ending to a Croft series where at the bottom it says you were watching, and then
Oh
comes
yes,
up with the names. Yeah.
yeah. As we get the lovely little theme song, "Oh, Doctor Beechin." Yeah, it's poor. I mean, wow. I actually, I'll be honest, when I picked this, I knew it would be bad. That's the whole point of the podcast, Stuart. But I never ever thought that this was going to be as bad as it was. And I do
Oh,
apologize for wasting
yeah,
30 minutes of your life with this.
yeah, yeah. No, it were
It's
bad. There's a lot of sort of ones I can watch and I can tolerate. This there was just nothing funny about it.
no,
It
no.
was very basic. Yeah,
We have to do this, Stuart, as you know, at the end of every episode we've looked at. Funniest bits.
none.
No, I go back to the fact the
None.
location's lovely.
Yeah, that was the good bit of it. The actual train station. The fact that they used real trains that were pulling up.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
to give them that as well. But yeah, the place itself were lovely. That is literally it.
I will make an honorary note for Ivor Roberts' character, the train driver, Arnold. I really liked
Mhm,
his delivery.
mhm.
If he could have, it probably wouldn't have worked if he'd had more because it was lovely to get him in snippets.
Yeah,
But his performance, his delivery of that joke, his almost Les Dawson explaining of what's gone on, that I thought worked really, really well.
yeah.
But I think that's credit to the actor there as opposed to the material that he's got. Bad bits, Stuart.
Bad bits again. Most of it. A definite bad bit is just getting these actors in and them playing the same style of character all the time. Like I say, Stephen Lewis, he does it in everything. Yeah, we're on the bus as Blakey. He's Blakey in this. He was Blakey in Last of the Summer Wine. He's like couldn't do anything else.
No, no, it's the one trick pony scenario, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I mean,
it's bad.
Sue Pollard, literally the same character but dressed differently. She
Yeah,
spoke the same. She sounded the same.
yeah. The two that I've mentioned, Wilfred, the young lad, who's just just don't get why that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, because he's a little bit thick, everybody should just laugh at him. What?
Mhm.
And he's not just thick. He's playing it as though he's pretending to be, and it's really awful to watch. And the slimy guy the Percy, the driver who's trying to chat up Ethel. Oh,
Yeah.
that just, I mean, that made my skin creep. That was horrible.
Much
That you
like that
say,
just reminded me of Stan of on the buses, and that's why I
yeah,
hate that program. That is
really
too,
seedy,
ooh,
creepy,
yeah,
lecherous. Yeah,
massively.
horrible, horrible stuff. Oh God, thank God that's over, Stu. That's nearly done. Right, mate. As you know, folks, at the end of each episode, we quiz each other. As I chose this episode and I deserve everything I get for this, I have to answer the quiz questions, Stuart. 5 questions.
Yeah, you do. Now, for some reason, when you do questions for me, you sort of go into all mastermind mode and
What?
give me the
How
you
dare
give me
you?
the hardest questions.
No, no, that's not fair. I asked you questions on the episode you should have watched.
But still, you ask questions of they are, it's either a millisecond where I see the answer, or it's like, oh, that's it, I'm done for. I give you a chance on my questions, so
Okay,
you know,
I shall pull back on my quizzing. Go on,
right then.
give me what you got.
So your 5 questions are all to do with obviously the episode that we've watched. If any names are required, then it's first and last names. Okay.
Right, okay.
So here we go. So question number 1 is, what old piece of station equipment does Cecil Parkin decide to put back into use?
Oh, the PA system.
Oh, correct. Yes. Oh, you struggled
Oh,
with
I
that one, didn't you?
see. You
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand where you go with my questions now.
Yeah. You sort of give me the question. What was the number plate on the third car behind the taxi that they were sat in? That's that's what you did.
Right. Well, in fairness, yeah, okay, I will take what you're saying. I totally get that. I've thought, well, okay, it's too obvious as what are the names of the couples in the sitcom?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
So, question number 2: who is chosen to make the announcements over the PA system?
Oh, Ethel.
Ethel who?
Oh God. Parkins, Skinner. No, I can't. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know.
Ethel Schumann.
Oh God, we've said her name. I think even I've said it earlier.
Yeah.
It's because I've closed my
So,
notes.
question number 3: why is Jack Skinner suspicious of Cecil Parkin during this episode?
Oh, because his wife May gives him the last Eccles cake.
Yeah, well, I'll let you have that. Yeah, he thinks Cecil is interested in May. Yeah.
I think
So,
that's supposed to be the like plot throughout. It just
well, I mean, the thing is that the fact that they made the plot when you read about this episode, the make the plot about the PA system, where really, like I say, that is literally 5 minutes from start to finish, where
yeah,
this other plot
should have
is
been.
should have been the main plot that
Yeah,
they talk about. So
yeah.
yeah. Question
I'll get half for that because I didn't get it right. But yeah.
Oh, that's very kind of you, docking yourself some points. So, question number 4: what is the main purpose of bringing back the PA system?
To sound more professional.
Well, to modernize the station.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and
I'm still
question
on
and
one.
yep. Question number 5: what is the overall outcome of the PA announcement experiment? Oh.
The speakers don't work. It's a bit squeaky, and it was better with Jack doing it the old way, stood on the platform.
Well, I'll expect that. There's, I'll accept that. There's not really a wrong answer with that. It just proves to be more troublesome than successful. So yeah, we'll let you have that. So you got 2 out of 5.
Good.
So
I'll take that.
yep.
I'll, I'll go with that. I'm happy.
It should have been 1.5 out of 5, but I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2.
You rotten. Very good. Very good. We have to rank this, Stuart, and I think we both know what's going to happen here. We've only got 3.
I'm gonna
At the
say we
moment, in
Annie
first place
Heidi.
is
Yeah,
Heidi High,
yeah.
Duty Free is
Duty
second.
free. Oh, this has got to go. Yeah, third, definitely.
This is the top one.
Definitely.
This is the worst one we've reviewed so far.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. The others, although they had their bad things and although they weren't brilliant, there was more to enjoy. Every now and then you get a little bit of a snigger or think, oh, that's clever. With this, it was a real slog to
Nothing.
sit through the
Yeah,
episode.
very slow
Yeah.
pacing. Very, very slow pacing. It didn't really get anywhere.
And I think we
Um,
said at the top of the episode, Stuart, it's 20 years out of date. This would have been fine in 1982.
yeah.
And I say fine as in fine.
Yeah,
But
when you watch it, like I say, from the opening and the music, you'd think it was an early 80s
yeah,
sitcom.
yeah.
And that when you find out actually when it is from, I mean, I know it's years old now, but even then, it's just yeah, massively out of date. Yeah,
Massively so, massively so. Before we call it wrap and we leave Dr. Beeching, thank goodness, behind us, next week's episode, Stuart, is your choice. And for the listeners at home, here's a little sneak to the intro. So, if you know what that is, or you want to find out what that is, join us next week when Stuart and I will be reviewing that series. So, all that is left is to thank Stuart for joining me as always and giving his views on the episode, and you, the listeners, for your support and comments.
remember, if you want to agree or disagree, or if you have any further comments, please contact us on the platform you've listened on, or email us at revisitedwithsciencestew@yahoo.com, and we will look at these as we go along.
So, join us next time and we take a look back at another abysmal effort. And remember,
You address me by my proper title, you little bollocks!